Alright, so this is what's left. Like a little bit of, like, we have Sentinel Priests, not Sentinel Priests, what is it? Sentinel Guards. And when they cheered, they said rip and tear. The ancient arena is a holy place for the people of Argentinur, constructed in the earliest days of their history. This Colosseum served as a proving ground for trial by combat. Historical records indicate that the Argenta did not jail their own kind, rather prisoners and criminals were granted the right to earn their chance at regaining honor through victory in the arena. Those who succeeded were given a place to fight in the front lines of the Sentinel army, to die in service to Argentinur. This traditional use of the arena has subsided since the assimilation with the Dark Realm. The corrupted priests now allow more violent exchanges, with armed captives pitted against demons for sport. The priests of the Order Dagar continue to hold undisputed power on Argentinur. Spilling the blood of an Argent ascended class will result in transgressors, banishment. Asylum amongst the Argenta will be denied to any who do not adhere to the rules of engagement. So basically like that hotel in John Wick. This was the first time he came here. I think when that summoner transported him to a different...
We found him in the valley, just outside the castle walls. He was badly wounded and wearing this.
Guts. Huge guts. Kill them. Must kill them all.
He has fight in him yet.
In spite of his injuries.
Send him to the arena. Let him be judged like the others.
As before they became demonic, and they didn't understand. I know it's in English, but they didn't understand what he was saying. So they tried to learn his language, and that's when they discovered hell and hell energy. View image. I like the writing. It's like Elvish a little bit, and Arabic. Those little diamonds and the loops kind of remind me of that. Translated from the Ligra Saltagenta, Book of Kings. In the time of King Novak, as the Argentans secured peace and safety through dimensions across time and space, an outlander came to us. He was not of our world and spoke in an ugly tongue. How he first took step on our land was unknown. Sentinel scouts had found the outlander bloody, clawed, and near death, mumbling of impending doom, and the forces of darkness. The scent of blood followed him, and the gore that stained his armor seemed not entirely his own. By a gentle law, the stranger would be judged in the Colosseum, where he would be given the chance of all who stray from the path to fight for his freedom. We knew not of this stranger. His mind seemed crippled with rage. He dressed in attire not suited for our land, and carried munition of arcane origin. We watched as his will overcame his injuries, and in the blood arena he proved his worth. The Outlander's technique was crude and brutal, but the determination in his charge echoed that of any true-born sentinel. His war cry echoed through the Colosseum, as did the sound of his fury, and the guards cheered his banner, rip and tear. They shouted as the beast pushed beyond mortal wounds and certain death. He would be gifted no rank, no title. The survivors in the arena were provided only one reward, the right to earn an honorable death, while spreading the blessing of the Makers to those in need. The Outlander's determination was witnessed, his ravings documented, and through the word of Order Daga and Khan Maker had him brought before her. She set her minions to learning his tongue, for with his ugly words he spoke of lands unseen, creatures born of fire and dark places unknown. To the Queen and her cast, yet another opportunity to expand the gift of the Makers to those in need. So this could be before, she was doing what she was actually supposed to, like spread the Maker's blessings across, but that's when she discovered hell energy origin, and then it basically become corrupted. You could always say she was always destined to be corrupted by Davolf's influence. So now how much of this will be in Dark Ages? I have a new GPU. I got a 2070. I traded it for my 1080 Ti. It's about the same. The 1080 might be a little better, but...
O great powerful one, a sign of truce.
The 1080 does not have ray tracing, so I could not play Dark Ages. Book of Kings. On the eve of the Black Star, the Dark Ones came from the world beneath our own, not through ships nor imperial vessels, but through the fabric of dimension. Out of swirling fiery gates came horned beast from a timeless realm. First one, then many crashing waves of evil swelled from the obsidian forest of the Argentine overlands. The Alormum clans from the eastern mountains fell first to the black hordes of devils, and the city of Tellurium was slung under the weight of their charge. We sentinels rose to meet the beasts with spears in hand. The might of the holy fleet is striking back at the demons, but the dark gates from whence they came gave birth still to even greater hordes. A line of blood was drawn with the fallen on both sides, and the unholy wars began as a time of darkness came upon us.
I know of what you have left behind. Go back to it then. Leave this crusade. You cannot save them. They have asked me for this, and so I give it to them. If you let the priest live, then I will return to you what the demons took from you so long ago. You need only turn back, and it will be yours again. All the pain you carry will be gone.
So technically the demon or the mother that transported Doomguy to this alternate reality, she kinda did achieve her goals. He would just be on a path of chaos, and what was it? Like, he would just be his hate for the demons would just be endless. So in a way, his version of his wife, daughter, I think, even his rabbit, Daisy, are dead. I always like this Leonardo da Vinci kind of look. Like enemies of the past, we would not contain the demons emergent from the dark realm. Their weaponry was not conjoined from mechanical steel, but from the essence of their very being, a dark magic not known to us. In our many conquests, had we grown overconfident, our victories serving to dull our blade as we drank in the glory of our expanding empire. Lost, we knew not of how to prevail against this foe. The maker gods stood perplexed, and our engineers and priests scrambled to find the advantage in battle. So we desperately needed. Unknown to the enemy, we were pushed to the brink of defeat, and our gods stood with us as we worked to find the answer. The Order of Dagar were the first to unlock the mystery of these foul creatures. The priests were able to capture several of these beasts and set about to identify the source of their power. It was then that the essence of the Dark Realm was discovered. Not wholly unlike our own, this power was the life essence that flowed through their twisted form and powered their attacks. It could be harnessed to power our own weapons, giving the Argenta the chance to combat the demons on even footing. The priest believed that with greater knowledge of the essence we could discover its source and cut it off from the demons to strangle their armies from within, allowing us to regain the advantage we required for victory on the battlefield. The Khan Maker gave blessings to our majesty and directed the priest to delve deeper into the mysteries of the Scarlet Elixir from the demonic realm, as she sought only to return balance to our universe. Proper assimilation was required, as hell stood beyond her influence. After greater effort, the priests discovered more than they had hoped for. They learned of the true nature of demonic energy and how it could strengthen those skilled enough to harness its power. The energy coursing through the malformed bodies of the relentless enemy could be used to end life or enhance it. The power to heal, to mend immortality, knowledge and enlightened faculties beyond our understanding. With the demon's life force in the skilled hands of a Sentinel Priest and under the righteous gaze of the Khan Maker, our people would not only rise to victory over the unholy horde and that clawed at our walls, we would move to a higher plateau of existence, usher in a new era of military science and industrial healing. No sentinel would grow sick, no marker would need to suffer the transfiguration that they so feared. All would be risen, none could ever oppose our peaceful ways and threaten our world again. True balance over hell and its legions, over space, time, and this world and all others. We would dictate the order, unite with the mark makers. We would find peace eternal. Oh boy. So that's when they, drunk the Kool-Aid. And I think at this point they still didn't know that, Argent Wraith, the Hell Energy, Argent Energy was made from suffering. That's his normal. I keep forgetting to enable the retro costume. The Khan Maker demanded a tenth of essence, and driven by her desire, the priests submitted themselves to her will. The Order of Dagar took counsel with the king, Speaking only of the spoiled lands, sure to be found through the cleft in creation and the opportunity to purge the new invaders from Argentinur, we took the war to their cursed lands, pressing through the gates of wizardry. I think this is when they betrayed them. There was one among us who seemed to know the true nature of these foul demons. It was the Outlander, the stranger who had come to us from places unknown, who had survived in the front lines far longer than any Sentinel-born prisoner had before. His passion for battle against the vile horde was evident, his lust for their destruction matching our own. Through Argentinur remained a foreign land to him. His fever caught the attention of inquisitors of the Sentinel Guards. Some whisperings of suspected allegiance he held in secret with the demons, silencing the critics. King Novik deemed him worthy of selection. The signifiers brought a commission to our king, and was decided that he will be lifted from the common rabble. Though no arena-born prisoner had ever been granted the honor, the Knight Sentinels broke tradition and deemed the Outlander worthy of training. A number of disciples grumbled and chaffed at the barbarian present in their ranks, but in the war with the demons all opportunities for even the slightest advantage were to be considered. And as they witnessed the strangers spar with the whole monster, they found him an undying, unrelenting compatriot. This man was an outsider, friend to none, and yet rose each time he was thrown in the dirt of the circle. Battered and bruised, his brow stained with blood, he rose with grim determination for the chance to face his enemies in armed combat once again. Time passed as the stranger was instructed in the confined matrices of their order. The ancient lessons of battle and brotherhood taught to all sentinels. He could sense the opportunity before him. Soon all of hell would feel his wrath once again. Satisfied that he would not be a detriment to their prowess, the Knight Sentinels granted him his wish. As they ventured through the hell gates with the stranger in tow, they knew no rest, fighting in the unnatural elements and training under the blood moon of night. The stranger suffered exhaustions, wounds, and sickness, but asked for no aid and was offered none. 3 times the Knight Sentinels ventured into the gates and back, and upon every return the stranger strode more capable than before. His gait locked in step with the march of the Sentinels, a disciplined and now controlled lust for demon blood ever present. The passing of the years and in numerous battles with the devils indentured the stranger to Argenta's mightiest warriors, and no longer did they condemn him. No longer did they condescend to him as a new-blooded constraint. For them, he had become a brother in arms, forged in war, an ally, and a weapon.
I pity the humans. I do. Theirs is a hard role to play. But I too have a world to save. Without their souls, there can be no hell energy, and the Argent will cease to flow. I cannot allow this to happen. You will not stand in the way of Erdak's progress. This is how it has always been done. It is not for you to deny us our chance at prosperity.
Watch me, lady. As we warred with the beast, the Argentine society grew under the watchful eye of the makers and through the endless power of the essence. While our generals were consumed with the unholy war, our culture was marked by the beautiful potion the enemy had provided us, the sweet elixir. It brought us immeasurable capacity and empowered us to reach farther into dimensions once thought to be beyond our grasp. Under the direction of our maker gods and the engineering of our high priest, our weapons blazed, and our war machines stormed. The throngs of our purposes drank deeply from well of energy unveiled by the priests, but we of the Night Sentinels took no part in their abundance. Some among us whispered accusations and warnings against this manner of progress, but they were quelled, as it was not our role to dictate the future of our people, only to defend it. A lot of reading. As the Black Star ascended to its zenith, King Norvik sat restless on his throne as a howling darkness began to assemble just beyond the mountain rise. To the east, the blight came upon us in droves, flooding forth from the Hellgate with merciless fury. They brought with them a monstrous titan, the Dreadnought, a beast to rival the stature and menace or even the mightiest ancestral. The grotesque giant laid waste to all before him, crushing all in his path. This was a total demonic assault, striking at the heart of Agent Anur. As never before, how was it that the behemoth could pass through the demonic gate without warning? We would never know, though the Night Sentinels believed treason was at play. Caught off guard, the Sentinels scrambled late in defiance of the Titan, his horde. With his coming, the holy city of Terras Nebat prepared for judgment. That was the city that was completely laid waste. With the onslaught of the demons massed in the sprawling shadow of an abhorrent fiend, the city shook to its foundation. None were spared. Save those that fled north, the vile swarm ransacked our temples and palaces, burning our towers and feasting on the souls of our clergy. Yet the Night Sentinels rallied, and held fast against the demons, though they were pushed back and corralled at the blood arena. As the dark of night descended, their swords remained potent and shed the enemy's multitude with abandon. Amidst the unyielding ranks of the Sentinels were all another apprentices had fallen in battle. Stood the Outlander, rip and tear, he roared, ferocious in battle. The remaining conscript of the arena stood in awe as they witnessed the beast who had once raged within their very cells, now armored alongside their shoulders of his sentinel brethren. He had risen where none other had before, a true-born sentinel fighter, the very best among them. But though the swarm fell before their assault, the Titan remained invincible, for none could tame the behemoth alone. In the hours before dawn, as the night sentinels weathered the relentless assault, the Outlander held his ground at the foot of the great wall in the northern bend of the castle, seeing his unending vigor. Samu, I think that's also Samuel Hayden, Chancellor to the Mother God, hurried the Outlander away under veil of secrecy, and for reasons unknown submitted him to a rite untold. This was heresy, for Samu received no consent from the Khan Maker, nor did he receive her counsel. In the Chapel of Purity, the Outlander submitted himself to the divinity machine. There, Samu Maker, the seraphim known to us only as an aid to the Mother God, blessed the Outlander with fierce speed and power to match his will. It was the method by which this transfusion took place that was the most uncertain to us, for we were of the knowledge that the Maker device bestowed onto the Argenta so many generations ago was to be used by the priest only to find the impurity among us. How could it be that the device that was meant to call the Sentinel breed of its contaminants could then be used to purify the Outlander's body and give rise to one who would lead us into battle henceforth? What rose from the holy coffin of the faithful on that fateful day was not the impure abomination the Covenant warned us of. The hero within would come to be known only as the Great Slayer, Time Walker, the warrior Khan, whose fire sword would blaze forth a path for the just and cut through the demonic horde with a vengeance and only a God King could summon. He rose unbroken by the rituals, his eyes burning with Maka magic. He took the crucible in his hand, and wraith fire leapt forth from the blade as only it will when held by a true sentinel warrior king. In our darkest hour, the Slayer had been chosen, defying tradition, utmost secret laws, and will of the great Khan herself. A stranger to our lands, had been blessed with celestial might. Sorry if I'm reading weirdly, getting completely drained.
I cannot stand by and watch as you put our future at risk. Earth will be consumed, and the energy will continue to flow. It is your survival against mine.
Right, yeah, this was the photo I wanted to show you. So that was before, and right is when he's been corrupted by Wraith energy, or Hell Essence, sorry. Priest Grav remains the most powerful of the Hell priests among the people of Argentinur, frequently visiting his ancient homeworld to lord over the populace. Arrogant and pompous, Grav calls for the blood sport in the arena to entertain the fallen citizen of Sentinel Prime. Since the demonic invasion of Earth began, he has operated on the planet's surface along with his fellow Hell priests to direct Hell's forces, but after the death of Dagon Neerlox and Dagon Ranak, He has fled to safety of the arena. It was Priest Grav who facilitated the torment and eventual betrayal of the Sentinel Commander Valen, taking the keys to the sepulchre of elements and opening the vault of the sleeping wraith. The ancient creatures were abducted, transported to hell, and tortured to siphon away their power. He used the heart of Valen's son to animate the icon of sin, a titan still spoken of its legend through Argentinur. Yeah, we saw him in Doom, the first game, and even in the Sega version, you win by shooting the little hole in his forehead. Should be the last one. Or even the mission. Oh wow. In the years following the end of the Golden Age, competing factions of Argentinur turned against one another. An insidious influence had bested itself upon the Sentinel people, corrupting its once held sacred tradition. The Colosseum, once a place of honorable combat where prisoners of the Argenta were tested for the right to fight in the front lines of the army, has since become a place of blood sport. In violation of Sentinel law, the priests have engaged a demon there, a merciless executioner used to enact judgment of their own decree. The gladiator, wielding an Ekros shield, which entombs the tormented souls of his undying master, remains undefeated in battle, infamous for many lives it has claimed. That's when the Micas first came to Argentinur.
You'll make a fine addition to the front lines, stranger.
The demons! They are everywhere. Must kill them all!
Dress his wounds and bring him to us. I want to know more about the others he speaks of.
Yes, Your Grace. If Sentinel holy blood is spilled on these grounds, you will lose all sovereignty here.
Don't care. Gladiator. The shield eye flash green, the gladiator is about to attack. Shoot him when his eyes are green to stagger him. Okay, just like the Marauder. Oof. Man, I love this gun. See, the only way I can kill marauders. Come on, I had that. No challenge. Okay, good. No, I didn't say I would get all the challenges, but if you do get them, it is beneficial. Wants me to shoot its back or something? Oh, okay. No, I was just fumbling the animation. It has been shredded up. My shield was sentient. Come on. part. Come on. Oh god.
This stops nothing. Earth will be consumed, regardless of what...